There were two phases to the Industrial Revolution. One consisted of steam, coal, and iron, and the second one consisted of electricity and steel. After these two phases, cities grew at a rapid rate and offered more jobs to the people.
Why did industrialization take place during this time period?
Industrialization took place during this time period because inventors thought outside the box and they used their natural resources to create things, and technology and developments were created like the phone, boats, airplanes, and all that made people have more jobs, and in the end they all had. Hello, sir. I'm from the mom and pop store. You're putting me out of business. Okay, why did it take place during this time period?
Well, during this time period, there was a war going on between the Indians and the Americans. After the war was over, the Americans had won and they got much needed money, basically. And with all that money, the United States they were able to build factories all around the major cities, I guess. Since it was such a booming business, everybody wanted a part of it. They needed machines, they needed to be built, and they needed a little bit of everything. People started to help out working in the factories, but after a while it started to get so crowded that everybody was trying to fight for the jobs. Everybody was trying to do different things, and every time they would invent something new, less and less people would work because the machines that they would build would take place of the workers. They didn't need them anymore.
Okay, Juan. What made urbanization possible?
Well, in the 1800s, things weren't like they are now. If you can see around us, there's everything. We have buildings, we have schools, we have a lot of things that we didn't have in the 1800s. Back then, everything was farmlands, everybody grew their own food. But during the time of the 1900s, late 18th century, everything started to change. Everybody had to work together to grow food just to feed themselves. And since that wasn't enough, everybody else started to help out. More people came from different places and
Let me get that for you.
Other parts of the world. Mainly people came from Italy. They came through ships and they came to help us grow food, basically. During that time, factories started to sprout up. Since there wasn't enough people to grow the food, everybody else had to help. Walking to work, I have no car because cars don't exist right now. So just walking about 10 miles to work. My boss is going home. They get shorter days than we do because, well, we work all day. I work about 12 hours. It's right here. Right now it's about 5 in the morning. I get off at about 7 in the evening. Work all day. My back hurts sometimes. I work in a butcher shop.
What made this urbanization different from the other ones?
Well, the other ones, many of the people that worked in places were from America. Right now, all the people that work in the places like I do, I'm a butcher. People that work in these places, well, they're all immigrants. These people right here, let me just get this work up off the thing. People that work in places like us, mostly immigrants, try to take the jobs of hard-working Americans like us. Hey, get back to work. I'm white. I'm sorry. Sorry, boss. Okay. Why was the national government so ineffective?
The national government was so ineffective because after the Civil War, they were just concentrating on trying to reunite the North with the South. They were trying to settle their differences, trying to help build the Union back together. Other than trying to build the union back together, they were too corrupt. With the laissez faire going out of control and all of that, they were just focused on making money. They weren't focusing much on trying to help build the communities back together.
What resulted from the stalemate?
Political stalemate caused monopolies to grow, like John D. Rockefeller. Once monopolies grow, they bring a lot of mom and pop stores out of business and corporate businesses up. Once mom and pop stores come down, communities start to lose money and all the money goes to rich people cities. Once those small cities come down, that causes farms and the rich people cities turn into big cities. That goes into urbanization.
Why was monopoly outlawed?
Monopolies were outlawed because it brought too much money to one single person or a group of people and not much money to other people, which if money were brought to other people instead of just one person, the government would benefit more. Because building communities and helping us out, not just one person. Because if only one person gets rich, that doesn't really help us a lot. It leads to the Great Depression and just...
The Industrial Revolution was a major turning point in human history. It affected every aspect of life in some way eventually. The economy and the population increased over sixfold throughout the years.
What made industrialization possible?
What made industrialization possible was most likely inventions. Like the steam engine and electricity created things like cars and bulbs and light bulbs, which allowed people to live a better life and offered more factory jobs to people that created the inventions.
That's a lot of money.
Pedrozo, after the mom and pop store, you put me out of business, man.
You're poor, girl. You're poor. I don't have a lot of money. I don't need to talk to you. A lot of money.
Good evening, sir. After the mom and pop store around the corner, and you put me out of business.
I'm not please, homie. Get out of my face. I got a lot of money.
Hey man, he's putting me out of business. That's not fair. You're the government. Do something.
I don't worry.
Hey son,
Hello.
I see what you're doing over here. You're really making it bad for the community. About these mom and pop stores, it's not going to be good. So what am I supposed to go tell this young man?
You never heard nothing. You never saw nothing.
See what you're doing here.
It's all good.
Alright dude,
I'm rich.
stay rich.
Thank you.
Have a good day. I don't give a fuck about you.
Why did industrialization take place during this time period?
Industrialization took place during this time period because inventors thought outside the box and they used their natural resources to create things, and technology and developments were created like the phone, boats, airplanes, and all that made people have more jobs.
How do you explain the mass movement of millions of people?
The mass movement of millions of people brought them to the U.S. because here in the U.S. the farming is good. There's better homes, better education, better jobs, better life. The reason that millions of people came here were because there was trouble in farming with countries like Britain and Europe. The farming was going bad. And well, in order to survive, millions of people had to come to the U.S. to farm and have a better life to survive.
What reaction did the American establishment have to this phenomenon?
Well, the phenomenon of immigrants coming over to the United States is that most of the Americans didn't like it because what they did, the immigrants would do for less money. So the Americans thought that the immigrants were taking their jobs, basically. They did all the work that the Americans either didn't want to do or were simply too lazy to do. Some people liked it because it brought traditions, it brought trade, but the majority of the people that were already here, the richer people didn't like it at all because they would be losing their jobs. But the richer people who own things like factories did appreciate it a lot in a way because they had to pay less money to the immigrants. So in some ways, half of the people did like it and the other half didn't like it. So it was split between between two different things.